In this video, we're going to learn how to find slope from a graph. Slope describes the steepness of a line. It shows how much the y value changes based on the x value. There are four types of slope. The first type of slope is positive slope. And I like to think about positive slope as somebody traveling up a hill. If we read from left to right, it looks like literally walking up a hill. So I sometimes like to draw a little guy just to help remind myself that positive slope is like going uphill. Second type of slope is negative slope. And that's just the opposite. It's like somebody traveling downhill. So if I draw a picture, somebody walking down a hill. We always have to read our graphs from left to right though. So make sure you start on the left and it's going uphill from left to right. Okay. Third type of slope is a zero slope. And that's somebody walking along a flat line. Not going up, not going down, it's just flat, a flat line. The fourth type of slope is undefined. And this is a vertical line. And I like to think about somebody walking up the side of a wall. Only superheroes can do that. So that's not something that's defined for the average human. Can't really walk up a wall. Okay. Slope is represented by the variable m. And there are two formulas. So m is the change in y over the change in x. So this little delta, it's called a delta. This means change in. So the change in y divided by the change in x, or the rise, how much you go up or down, divided by the run, how much you go side to side. So rise is up or down divided by how much you change from left to right. Excuse me. More often, slope is shown as a fraction. Remember, any integer can become a fraction by dividing it by 1. So for example, the integer -4 can become a fraction by placing the -4 over a 1. All right, moving on to the second page about slope from a graph. There's some steps here. So the first thing is you need to find 2 points on the line. So you can't calculate slope except 2 points. You need to make sure that these are points you can name, like 3, 4, rather than 1.5, 2.5. This would end up just being an estimate. We want to make sure we pick points that are actually on the line. Starting from the leftmost point, determine how many units up or down it is to the other point. This is your rise, or delta y, change in y. Remember, up is positive and down is negative. Continue right to the next point. This number is your run, or change in x. And since we're always going to the right, this is always going to be positive. Simplify the fraction, and then divide the numerators, but make sure we keep your answer as a fraction for slope. All right, so let's try this. We have 3 examples. So example number 1, I find one leftmost point, and it's already marked for you. So my first point is here, and then my second point already marked for you is here. So we're starting at the leftmost point. We start with this one. And then we have to decide if we're going up or down, and we count the spaces. So in this case, we go down to get to our second point. So we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4. So our delta y is going to be -4. And we always put that over our change in x. So then to go from here over to our other point, we go 1, 2. So we moved 2 points. So we went down 4 and we went right 2. And it should always make this right triangle shape. So down 4, right 2. Makes a right triangle. So our slope would be -4 over 2. And if we reduce that, it would be -2 over 1. So slope is m equals -2 over 1. Example number 2. So if we look on our graph, we can pick 2 points. It doesn't matter as long as they're integer points. They don't have any decimals in them. So we can pick this guy right here. And I could pick this guy. I could pick this guy. I'm going to pick this one all the way up here. But there's plenty. I could pick here. I could pick here. You can pick whichever ones you like as long as, again, they're on the line. So I have to look for my change in y. So that's how many I move up or down. So to get from here to here, I have to go up 1, 2, 3. And since I went up, it's going to be a positive 3. So positive 3 over, and then I look for my run or my change in my x. So how many do I have to go over? So I'm going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I went to the right 6. And that makes sense. It's going to be a positive slope. We're going uphill. And if I simplify my fraction, 3 over 6 simplifies to 1/2. And this is a positive slope. So you can always kind of self-check. Positive slope, yep, going uphill. This one was a negative slope. I went downhill. Makes sense. All right. This last one, if you look at the graph, we know it has to be a negative slope. We're going downhill. And I could pick, again, any 2 points on the graph that I like. So I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to pick this one. All right, so I'm looking for my change in y, so my rise. And for this one, I'm going down. I have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went down 5. And I put that over my change in x, or my run. So I had to go over 1, 2, 3. So I went over 3. And that fraction cannot be simplified, so my slope is -5/3.